or a specific country? I mean, is there a disassociation with like specific physical areas as well?
So, I mean, I think geo-targeting in mobile is, so what's been happening on the desktop, laptop world, well, I think we've learned a lot and we're smarter in digital media. You also, I think, in mobile have to really open your eyes to new ways to do things, right, and new technologies that will enable you to really take advantage of the device. And I think geo-targeting is the perfect example of that, where I think mobile is starting to turn on its head what it even means to understand geography of a consumer. And I'll give you some examples, right? So if you see consumers that every single Saturday they're out in a national park, right, giving them a message from North Face or REI are perfect examples of reaching consumers that you really believe are the right target audience from a behavioral standpoint, even though you're really understanding those consumers and the context of those consumers and who they are based on where they spend their time. Right, so I think that there's a real opening, whether it comes to new technologies needed for tracking, which is more what this is on, or new ways to even understand and segment users based on the types of data you have on these devices and the fact that they're personal devices. I think you really have to make sure that you stay open to thinking about things in a new way.
And before we move on this, and just one quick question Judith wants to know is, so what's the role in SMS in this? Does messaging go away?
No, I think there's a holistic approach you have to take. SMS is probably not the best advertising tool from what I've seen, although it certainly has a role in advertising. I think SMS becomes a very important CRM tool. So if advertising has historically engaged a consumer, introduced them to new concepts, and now in present day has gotten them, especially in mobile, to engage with apps and to actually live with the brand on their most personal device ever, SMS can become an ongoing way to communicate. I think it needs to be thought of mainly as a CRM tool in that context, although it certainly still has a place for advertising.
Okay, so let's try to get back up. Sorry, I let us go down the track of questions. So maybe we can get back into the theme. So we've talked about kind of the power of mobile, and then there are some issues like tracking being broken. Maybe we can work on to one quick poll question to bring us back to that, and the audience of being able to get a sense of another input for our speakers here is how satisfied are you with tracking? And then once we get your sense of the audience gets a sense of what you all think of this, we can then move on to the kind of the next step.
Yeah, and I think to bring us back on theme, I mean, if you think about what we've talked about and describe the global nature of where we're at and the massive opportunities inherent in that and the change